Hi everyone, it's Sharon here. Today I'm going to show you a quick card I've made using the new Kuretake ZIG Clean Colour Real Brush marker pens. So to start with, I've stamped the image onto some watercolour paper with black StazOn ink, and I've just scribbled some of the marker onto a clear acrylic block, and I'm just picking up some of that marker with a water brush. The colour I'm using for this first part is number 42, which is turquoise green. It's quite a vivid sort of turquoise teal colour, but with a bit of water it's a really subtle, nice colour. So I'm just going to clean that off my acrylic block. And then I'm going to choose a green for the bottom part, and I'm going to use number 43, which is an olive green, and again I'm just going to scribble some onto the acrylic block and use my water brush to pick up some colour and paint it. The paper I'm using is De La Rowney hot press watercolour paper, which I bought in Hobbycraft. It was quite a reasonable price, and I find the markers work quite well on this. I think the difference between the hot and the cold is that the hot press is a more smoother texture, which I prefer, but depending on what effect you're after really, but I think this one's quite good for the price. So I've added on the green, and I'm quite happy with that. Now I'm going to go directly onto the watercolour, and I'm using a very light grey. This is number 91, which is called light grey. So I'm just going to add some detail to the windows. Since this is such a pale colour, I didn't really need to add water to make it any paler. And I'm going to add this for the lights as well. And then the bumper so that it looks like chrome. I'm just choosing a colour here. Now I'm going to go with a darker grey, just so that the around the window sort of stands out. And for this one I've chosen number 94, which is a grey brown. The brush tip on these is great for doing the fine detailed parts. And finally I'm just going to colour in the wheel cover, and for that I'm going to use a light blue. So now I'm just going to fussy cut out the camper van, and I'm using my Fiskars scissors for this. These are really good for precision cutting. I have speeded this up a bit, my cutting isn't this amazing. So there we go, that's all ready to go. So now I'm going to create a background, and I'm going to use the Tambi Gansai watercolours, also from Kuretake. And I'm going to paint these straight onto my card base, which is why I'm using these rather than the brush pens. I don't want to add too much water to this because my card blank isn't watercolour paper, but I want the colour palette that I've got here really. So I'm going to do some nice bright summery colours. I'm just trying to decide between the two oranges. I'm going to go for the darker one. And I'm just going to put some quite bold colour in the background. This is absolutely beautiful colour. So as you can see, I haven't added much water to that, just enough to get it to a creamy consistency. This is a kind of mustardy yellow. Needed a little bit of water with that. It's a bit too dry. So this is going to be a lovely background for that little camper van. Now I'm going to put this is my favourite colour out of this set, this turquoise. And I decided that the yellow on the left hand side is a bit too much of a sort of straight edge, which isn't really the look I wanted, so I'm just going back over to make that a little bit more messy really. Now because I've hardly put any water onto that will take no time to dry. So now I can stamp a greeting. I'm going to use my Misty for this, and this is the Paper Smooch's new Birthday Bash stamp set. I'm going to use the Happy Birthday greeting from this set. I'm using my Misty for this, not particularly because I need help lining it up. It's kind of the kind of stamp that it wouldn't really matter if it was slightly off. But the reason I want to use the Misty is with that bold background, I really want a very, very dark black image. So this is going to give me the opportunity to go over it a couple of times to make sure that the black really is bold. I don't want any faint areas. So I can go over it a couple of times if I need to. So I'm pressing down firmly to make sure. And that's pretty good as it is actually, but I'm going to go over it again just because I really want a crisp black against that background. Sorry for my desk wobbling when I push down. That looks fantastic now. So I can go ahead and put my card together. So I'm just going to add some foam squares to the back of the camper van so that it stands out nicely against that background. I think the turquoisey colour is quite a traditional colour for camper vans. You do see a lot in that colour, and I thought the orange and yellow as well just really makes it feel like a summery card, and I think this card would be perfect for a mail card. So I'm going to place that fairly central. I think that looks good with that background. And as a final touch, of course, as always, I'm going to add a bit of Wink of Stella. I thought if I go over the lights to give them a bit of sparkle, and then the wheel cover, it will just give a nice shimmer. I don't want to put too much shimmer on this because I think it is quite an ideal card for a man, but if you put too much glitter on it, then it isn't. So that's perfect. I'm quite happy with that. You can just see that little bit of shimmer, and that's the finished card. I'll list all the products I've used in the description below, and if you've got any questions at all about the pens or any of the other products I've used, just drop me a message and I'll come back to you. And thanks for watching. Bye.